A lot of things that the junior SEO used to do can now be done with AI, supporting the gambling industry, they're supporting the adult industry. Expose some of the tactics that SEOs are overusing and that could come and bite them in the ass very soon. I've seen websites rank with 60% Google page speed score. I used to think that I could do everything myself. Train the next generation of SEOs. Start your own websites. iGaming SEO is a Slavic woman. I woke up and I chose violence. And that is a huge problem. But everybody speaks English. Why do you want to learn Maltese? And I'm like, just let me. That might be the first case where SEOs are trying to be number two. And if you are going into a burnout, you are not managing your time properly. You've learned something new. You'll start all over again. And if you burn the website, so be it. Maybe SEO the way they do it is dead.
I think this is the best answer I've got.
Gambling Affiliation is my bread and butter.
Many SEOs, chase tiny things or tiny tactics or small lived tactics. What do you think is the long game for you in SEO and especially in iGaming SEO? What's just the long win for you?
I think, and I've been behind this strategy like ever since I started in SEO, and ever since like the big brand update. I think like if you search authority and you build your brand, that might be the tactic that is going to see like the long-term results as well. Regardless of the market. It's much more difficult in some markets than in others, and it might not pay off in some markets very fast. But I think like trying to build the authority and trying to become the best result is definitely something that is there. Now, there are many tactics that you can do that in order for the algorithm to understand that. It's not like some concept, like, oh, build authority. Like, there are certain things that you need to build in order for algorithm to recognize your authority. And they are obviously very much present in the patents. And people have spoken about this. Thought leaders have spoken about this, and that would be it on my end. So authority, I think, is the tactic that might grow in the future. Although, with the new question of AI now at the moment, one of the questions that you sent regarding the grounding and the Gemini AI, and the question was, I think, like whether that is going to be relevant for how is that going to influence the future. And I think at some point in the future, the AI, since it's grounded, if it stays grounded, obviously, I think they're going to be able to understand more current results rather than authority. And the ability to stay current in your way to understand, to answer the query, to follow the query and how it develops, etc., and staying current and competitive, like every day, I think might be more important than the authority. So it really depends on how everything develops, and that is why SEOs need to stay on track and follow everything that develops.
So as you said that AI and Gemini, Google has then access to your real-time data basically, right? So that is why they're able to answer with AI with the real time, correct? So do you think that this is going to help in news websites more? It's going to help the websites which are updating the latest updates in their niche more? It can be maybe a super hack or short-lived hack which can work, I think. Why not?
We're still monitoring it, to be honest, and I think the AI is still learning. And we've all remember the first time they've launched the AI overviews and how everybody was making fun of it, when they were telling people to drink, I think like arsenic or something. I don't know, like when they took results from Reddit or something. And the AI is learning. And I think we need to just monitor that area and to kind of understand. So far, when I've seen AI overviews for all the queries that I've been searching, I have actually read AI overviews. I've never clicked on the link in the AI overviews. I've clicked on the second result.
Even I do that.
Yeah, and that is something that I have also heard like from other people who are monitoring the space, that if you rank in the AI overviews, you're actually not getting the traffic.
Correct.
Like the second result is actually getting the traffic. And they were laughing at how that might be the first case where SEOs are trying to be number two and not.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I thought that was actually like really interesting, and I think we've just started to get into this whole thing. And I think it's very interesting to kind of start and monitor it and to see where it goes, and then adjust our strategies based on that. But it's really interesting to just stay and monitor and follow the thought leaders on that end, and maybe test some things out yourself, but also monitor how you also interact with AI, as that is also one of the indicators.
Very good. Very well said. Okay, so beyond the technical skills, you've already mentioned that in a high performing SEO team, the mindset is important. The guy who is not egoistic is very much important. So sometimes I have a question here, is that sometimes there's a product, there's a website, maybe there's an iGaming website which has developed in a certain way. Maybe there are games or iframes or technical which is not very much friendly as per search engine, maybe. So is at that point developer or the guy who is making that tech is the decision maker, or how it should be, or the SEO? Because obviously everything we're doing is for the traffic. So this is an always confusion. I think this question is relevant to every industry. You talk about real estate, you talk about maybe HVAC or anything, maybe something which is maybe trucking, maybe anything. So this is a very general question which clients have, because mostly what we've seen is that clients or the real business owners make a technology or a website in their own ways. And then we SEOs tell them this is not the right way. You should not do this. This should not be like this. You should do it like this. And sometimes mostly enterprise level client do not agree to that, because they have certain criterias, they have certain branding, they have guidelines. So how do you manage this part?
Okay. So I think on this end, the SEOs should chill, just because just because when you have like such a big website and you have all this infrastructure, I think like you need to understand what type of changes you need to do first that are going to give the maximum benefit, and what changes just because somebody else says that you shouldn't have that. For big websites, the technical is very, very much important. And if you have a high code complexity, and if your code is executing multiple functions, it's very difficult for you to maintain it, and then that might become a problem in the future.
Okay.
So I think on that end, the business owners should actually listen to SEOs when they tell them that they should simplify certain things. But on the other hand, SEOs should be more conservative in terms of their recommendations for technical improvements. I've seen websites rank with 80%. I've seen websites rank with 60%. Google Page Speed Score, etc.
Correct.
It really depends from case to case. And sometimes it might be cost to benefit ratio might not warrant all of this. But if you find that Google is reprocessing certain amount of resources on and on again because the files are not minified, or like they're generated, images are generated with a new URL every month for no apparent reason, etc. So like whatever you figure out that might actually harm Google's resources, that is a worthy case. So I think like on my end, I would ask SEOs to kind of re-audit their audit and to kind of be more conservative when they pitch this to clients, especially with smaller websites. With bigger websites, they should be a little bit more pushy, and to kind of understand that even though it's not a problem now, it doesn't also need to be fixed now. It is something we need to look into long term. SEOs being able to explain this to business owners and to kind of tell them that this might be a problem down the line and that they should start fixing it right now is actually very important.
Got it. Very well said. I'm sure you might be able to convince your clients for anything. I can see that.
I've actually tried. It's a trial and error thing. Yeah, I'm able to convince them, but whether it's gonna happen.
Yeah. There are multiple level of approvals and stuff. Even I get stuck into these things, I know.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
great. Now let's talk about a blueprint of hiring a junior SEO. Like if you want to hire a junior so you might have distributed your work into that this senior is going to handle this, and then this we talked about the developer, and then we talked about the content part, right? So now how a junior SEO would fit in? What do you look into a junior SEO while hiring? What are the roles you should give to him?
Okay, Gundeep, I have to say one thing, and that is a lot of things that the junior SEO used to do can now be done with AI.
Hmm.
And at this point, I think like hiring junior SEOs, if you don't have the budget for it, is not really necessary. Uh, but also, I would also employ other SEO managers to still do that and
Correct.
uh, and train the new generation of SEOs because SEO is not going anywhere.
Hmm.
It's
Hmm.
search engine optimization, whatever the search engine optimization, good
Hmm.
SEOs are
Hmm.
gonna find it.
Hmm.
You should still try and hire junior SEOs. And if you do hire them, I would say give them small things to learn, like give them, like small things to fix on the website first. So let's say, you get a group of junior SEOs, get them to kind of just go in and start doing small types of fixes, like like changing the internal links and all of those things that could be beneficial for them, while explaining to them why you have to do this. And when they get the hands-on knowledge and when they understand, like how this has been done, get them to audit the content, get them to see if the content you received actually belongs to the brief, is actually
Got it.
has followed the brief to consistently, get them to kind of the nitty-gritty details that you might not like as a senior SEO but still need to be done. That way they will learn, and maybe in a year they'll figure out that SEO is a passion for them, or they'll be like, I don't want anything to do with this. And once they figure this out, that this is a passion for them, they're going to start learning themselves, and you can start giving them more tasks.
Got
For,
it.
for me, the best thing was to just roll out a small competition. We're
Wow.
uh, we're hiring a new. We are launching a new website. We want junior SEOs to give us a pitch on how they want the website architecture to be. And you would be actually surprised at when once you have the right tools and know how to search, and you have the time, which is something the junior SEOs really have, like they will come up with some amazing ideas. So it's
Amazing.
all about finding the right talent and being able to extract that knowledge.
Correct. Correct. And I think this points also should be taken in a way that we should set a standard. I think the very hard truth about this point is also that if you are a junior SEO or you're trying to enter into the SEO industry, we as SEO leaders or maybe people who are trying to run SEO agencies should be benchmarking that this is AI and this is a junior SEO, and AI results are ought to be lesser than the junior SEO, means that the junior SEO should at least outperform or maybe close to what AI can do. What you just said initially, that mostly tasks of junior SEOs can be done by AI.
Yes.
So why junior SEOs are required? Because the mindset is there, because we're humans, we have to outperform AI. We have to maybe think that this is something which, like maybe site architecture, like in AI can perform site architecture. They can like we've trained an AI of ours which is good at planning the site architecture according to local SEO. But yes, Then now it comes about the markets, the industries, like the regions, the, like for example San Diego. There the SEO or the person can really see the competition, maybe think that no, this is not, this is actually what is required, we have to tweak it in a way. So AI can perform your basic standardized processes or tasks which junior SEO used to do 2 years 3 years ago. But now the junior SEO has to step up and maybe better, and maybe use that AI to maybe perform and give a better outputs and results. And again, compiling what you just said about the competitions, that's a very good idea. I think I've we did it. We usually do it. We also do it, and we also find out that sometimes few of the ideas, maybe even a small thing, maybe the idea of how to make the topical map, maybe sometimes, but the ideas of the blogs or the topics, sometimes it's very surprising to see them work and really give us good ideas. So I think that's one thing you really said really nicely, that yes, and that's how we train juniors into the seniors. Eventually I was also junior at a point, you might also be a junior at a point, right? Maybe 10-12 years ago. So that's how we were trained in a different synergy. Now the training process is quite outsmarted. Like in our case, it took us a lot of years because there was no good mentors, there was no good maybe AI technology. Now the process can be fast, but yes, the mindset and the openness should be there, right?
Yeah, exactly. They need to understand the why we do something, and they need to be able to do it without any help. And once you get to that point, then you can give them a bit more strategic tasks, such as you've said, like the planning of the website architecture
Okay.
and those sort of
Correct.
things.
Correct.
Because, and I would definitely employ other SEO managers to just to give a shot and still hire junior SEOs, even though we can do everything ourselves. And now with the AI, it's starting to become a truth. Please train the next generation of SEOs. Also, other SEOs, they should not wait. Start your own websites.
Yes.
Even in this climate where Google is, having problems probably indexing its stuff because everybody's starting their own website. But like, just try it. Just try it.
Correct. Correct. I wanted to ask you that first thing, you've tried programmatic SEO in casino or in iGaming, maybe making a lot of pages, maybe making thousands of pages, making big websites. Have you tried something like that?
I can't say.
Okay.
I can't
I get
say.
the answer. I get the answer.
Yeah, but I have to say, like, I've seen websites that I know from competitors have programmatic SEO behind them, and um there was an expiration date. That's all I'm going to say.
I get it. I got it. Okay, amazing. So, one thing I want to also know, that if someone wants to enter into iGaming SEO or maybe adult SEO where there's money, maybe what kind of budget one should look at just to start out, maybe a small win.
The biggest budget actually is for link building. And basically, I think like content, depending on which markets are you entering and how rare that language is. Um, I would say of it's very difficult to predict the budgets, because like a good SEO can shave a lot of the budget off because they would know how to scale things and implement things properly. So I wouldn't know, but like for backlinks in very high competitive markets, especially like let's say Nordics, you're looking at 30K a month just for backlinks.
Okay. And does PBN work here?
Cannot confirm or deny that whether they work or not, but I think it's worth testing. There were people who own the biggest PBN in Europe, who are not in supporting the gambling industry; they're supporting the adult industry. But they might consider supporting the gambling industry, and the PBN links are not expensive, and they probably could still work. It all really depends on your backlink strategies. I wouldn't just rely on the PBN links, but if you're strapped for budget and everything, I mean, test it and see how it works for yourself. And if you burn the website, so be it. You've learned something new. You'll start all over again. So, we've seen websites go down and then just get redirected, and then the content gets, etc. There's a lot of things that's going on in SEO everywhere, not just in iGaming. So
Yes.
just test it. Don't worry about it. Even if you drop, it's a learning curve, and it's not a bad thing.
Yes. Yes. I've seen websites, and I've kind of cannot publicly say that, but also worked in some ways with them. Uh, People also, to monetize small blogs or small low hanging fruits in casino, I've seen people actually reviewing different casinos and then doing slottings. Like there's a slot that this is the best number, like top 10 casinos. So the listicle articles and stuff. People make such websites, maybe use expired domains and take such websites and I've seen people winning in this. So I've seen people getting like decent traffic because of the branding available with the good casinos, and they have that kind of traffic. And then there's a slot like the number one is then, and that number one is sold at a different price in their list. Number two is sold at a different price in their list, and number three is sold at a different price. Like this is the top 7 casinos, and this is the 7th one. So this is a low price when they give the link, or maybe like that, give the banner or the banner image or the marketing to them. So you've been working in such space as well?
Yeah, absolutely. It's gambling affiliation. It's my bread and butter. Yeah. And I can tell you, like, you can probably buy a position on some websites, etc. But the best websites are the ones where they actually hold the casino accountable for their position. So, like, they will not take a casino that doesn't treat their players right. So affiliates are also very important in the industry for the quality check, and for the because it's a very sensitive industry, and we should strive to be the best, the support that the players need as well.
Got it. So I'm trying to explain you're the pro in this, and I'm trying to explain you that how it works. It's so funny.
You've done an excellent job.
Okay. Okay, great. Okay. That's amazing. Okay. Let's do a rapid fire round. What do you say? Okay? Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm here.
In the rapid fire round, you cannot think very long. You just have to answer what comes in your mind, okay? Yeah.
Okay.
Great.
Okay.
So, what's a compliment you received that felt like an insult but was actually the truth?
Oh, it was when I was a kid. I don't think it was a compliment. It was when I started studying French. And one of my friends, one of my cousin's friend told me, but Maya, you don't have the resources to travel to France, and you will not have, the contact with the language too much as it's necessary for you to understand the language. And I thought that was insulting. I thought she called me, like poor and stupid and everything. But she was correct. You actually need to be able to speak the language with the native speakers in order to become very fluent at it.
Yes.
So for me, while you can still hear English in many, many, many shows and on TV, other languages are not as widespread. So you really need to travel to the countries and kind of be there and talk to the people if you want to become an expert in that language. So it's not SEO related, but as you said, it's a rapid fire round. It's the first thing that came to my mind because I saw it in my mind still.
Very good, very good. I think learning multiple language, I think it's very good for for your linguistic and your brain skills as well. It really, the people who can understand and communicate multiple languages, especially if they're fluent, those people I've seen are more sharp, are more better decision makers, and are quick thinkers. What I've seen.
Absolutely. Completely agree with you. I love learning languages, and I love what it says to me about the culture. When I used to live in Malta for 3.5 years, I actually went and took a course in Maltese language. And everybody was like, but everybody speaks English. Why do you want to learn Maltese? And I'm like, let me, because I really enjoy languages and I really like to learn. And it taught me so much about the culture because like it has been ingrained in the way the language has been formed. Like
Yes.
small villages in Malta have a certain how do you say it, a certain preposition before them. And
Lingos. Yeah.
exactly. Then like it just tells you like which the language actually thinks that this place is small. And it's very interesting to understand. And also Maltese as a language has a lot of root in Arabic, so it was pretty interesting to me to kind of dive deep into that kind of grammar as well. I love languages, and I love to read as well. It's my thing.
So I have a question, but what you just said about linguistic skills, because I agree to you that linguistically, when you learn a language, you actually have to think in that language, and to think in that language, you need to process that lingos and the way the language is made. Now, coming to our industry SEO a little bit, you also believe in linguistic SEO, like it's more easier. It's topic discussed in 2022, 2023 were the years to about linguistic SEO was booming up. Everybody was saying that if you want to win in English is not everything, and you need to work on such kind of different geo. Being from different geo other than English, your native is not English, right? And do you believe in, even in your iGaming SEO, that Slovenic makes more sense to you? Do you do in casino? Do you do that?
Okay, so I think like in order to become a good SEO and be able to rank the websites, you really don't have to speak the language of your website, and I'll explain why.
Right.
I think it's a benefit and it's a plus because you can influence the content. But if you do trust your content writers and your content people, and then you Google Translate it, because I think like that's how Google understands. Google uses Google Translate to kind of understand the websites.
Okay.
And to kind of train its algorithm. And if it looks good in Google Translate, if the sentences are flowing naturally, if it's well translated, etc., then it actually is good content, and then you can work in like defluffing it or whatever your content optimization tactics are.
Mm-hmm.
And I do believe that you don't have to speak the language, and I've proven because I've ranked websites in languages I don't speak, just and giving feedback to content by using Google Translate. And obviously, you also have a bunch of tools that are analyzing entities, keywords, etc. That doing that and that can help you with that. I still think it's beneficial if you do speak the language.
Mm-hmm.
I would rather pick a good SEO that doesn't speak the language but knows how to do SEO in a language they don't speak, over the SEO who speaks the language but is like a one-trick pony and just like is like, let's build backlinks.
Very well said. Very well said, I think. All right, time for a sponsor break. This episode is proudly sponsored by Kings Digital, the marketing agency that I, your host, Gundeep Singh co-founded. At Kings Digital, we specialize into scaling businesses, optimizing growth strategies, and turning your ideas into brands that people can't stop talking about. You might be thinking self-promotion in your own podcast? Well, that's quite bold. That's because that's exactly what we do for our client. Bold strategies that bring results. So if you're a business owner or an agency wants to level up your marketing, your processes, whether it's SEO, ads, social media, performance marketing, we're building a killer brand presence for you. If you want us to audit your website or your ads campaign, just fill up the form below. We will get back to you with a full-blown SEO audit, a complete 6 to 12 months SEO roadmap tailored to your business, and a step-by-step video walkthrough breaking down exactly how to fix and scale your organic traffic. This isn't some cookie cutter checklist. Trust me, our team spends an entire day crafting this report. Trust me, if we're good enough to sponsor ourselves, we're probably good enough to help you crush your goals. Alright, that's enough of us now. Now let's get back to the show. Do you also believe that a website which has multilingual tags, like language tags, and they have like a website which is an English version and there's maybe an Arabic version, a second version to it, does it make more sense as SEO?
It really depends on a case-to-case basis. You need to look at the SERPs. You need to see how many multilingual websites are actually ranking in the SERPs for your desired keywords. Because in some markets, they really prefer the country code top-level domain, CCTLD. They really prefer those. And multilingual websites don't have a lot of chances. But in other countries, they actually have a preference for multilingual websites. So if you have like a multilingual website, it will have like more pages, etc. It will be seen as a website of a bigger authority, and then it might be favored in other markets. So it really does depend on the market. And as I said, you should think about that when you launch a website, because in some markets, it's better if you go with the CCTLD.
If you could make one unfiltered post on LinkedIn without consequences, what would you write?
Okay, I would probably expose some of the tactics that SEOs are overusing and that could come and bite them in the ass very soon.
Very well said. Okay. What's one SEO practice people glorify, but you secretly think this is a complete waste of time?
I don't think there's such a thing.
Okay.
I think every single SEO tactic is really good, except what I've said before, like things that have been discounted way before. It really just depends on the market and whether the tactic works on the market.
Very well said. Okay. What's one belief you had about success 10 years ago that now makes you cringe?
I thought that being successful is when you are the the big boss and everything. But actually, no, the more successful you are, the more at service you are to other people.
Correct, 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 correct. That's very true. You worked in high pressure, male dominant niche, right? What's something you've had to unlearn to keep winning?
It's delegating. I used to think that I could do everything myself. It also went to the point that I would be doing my team's work just because I could do it faster. Like why should I bother that? Why should I bother them with that when I could do it faster? But now I realize that I need to delegate things, and however long it takes the junior person to do this, I should give them that time because that's also a learning opportunity for them. So delegating is the one thing that I needed to learn.
Amazing, amazing. I think this is with everybody. This is what Mads always talk about, right? Very good.
We're all guilty of it.
Yes, yes. I think that's a sin. That's something that's a pain point actually, because when we know that we're good at stuff, we think that let's do it. Let me do it, and it is a very big problem. I had to actually tell my co-founder to actually understand this and delegate the process. So it was very hard for him. I understood it a little while ago, but for him it was something he used to actually did it just last year. Okay, amazing.
It's a really good article, Harvard Business Review, Who Has the Monkey? I will share it with you, but people Google it. It's an amazing article about delegation, and I've already read it once I've started delegating, but it's a game changer.
Yeah, I marked it down. I'll have a look. Very good.
Yes.
Definitely. I'll put the link in the description as well. Yeah. You're stuck in an elevator with someone who thinks SEO is dead. What's one sentence response to him?
It's not. Just because like I have zero desire to discuss with people who think SEO is dead. SEO is search engine optimization. Whatever the search engine is, SEOs will optimize it. So SEO is not that. It's just evolving. It's always evolving. It has always been evolved.
Right.
Maybe SEO the way they do it is dead.
Wow. Very well said. Now, in every podcast, I try to bring this up because I want to see the reaction of top players when someone says SEO is dead, because this is something really funny to me. And I think this is the best answer I've got. That I think the way you do it is dead. Great.
It's very true, right? It's gonna next time you see somebody say SEO is dead, you're gonna be like, ha ha.
Exactly. I'm gonna quote you there.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. Great. Okay. So if iGaming SEO was a relationship, How would you describe it in one line?
iGaming SEO is a Slavic woman.
Can you explain that to me more?
Yes, of course. You know, like how they say, you know, like that, like Slavic women, like Russian women, and also they like, they want high effort. They want flowers. They want men to be gentlemen. They want the door of the car open. They want to be taken out to dinner, etc. And like that's what iGaming SEO is. It really needs a high level of expertise. It needs a lot of effort. It needs a lot of resources put into it, and it pays off in the end. So,
Great. Very well said. Very well said. I think it's quite relevant. It makes sense.
yeah, exactly. You need to put into effort if you want the best possible results. Same in dating, same in other. But like, I think like if you look at like the modern culture, it has been said for Russian women to have the highest standards when it comes to dating and to require a lot of effort from their men. And I say this is probably true for all Slavic women. And probably other women, but like it's the culture that's really close to me, so that's why I say it.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, but like yeah, it requires effort. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, great. Okay. You get 24 hours with no rules, no phones, no expectations. What's the first thing you will do?
Relax.
Best answer. I would do the same.
Relax. There are books that are waiting for me that I've started and I haven't finished, and they're lovely books. I truly think that we need time to just unwind and relax.
Correct, correct. That's
And
my go-to way.
yeah, and in this overconnected world, I think we're not doing enough of that.
Yes, very, very true, very true. And talking about the books, do you read self-help books as well?
I actually do. I like reading self-help books, but not in the actual self-help way. More in the this is what I do. Like for example, The Art of Negotiation. Like
Mm,
it's a book from an ex-FBI negotiator.
correct.
And I think it's brilliant in business. And
Yes.
there is also one book that I would like to point out here that has taught me actually a way to fire people. Because in my career, I've also had the unfortunate task of basically firing people. And
Awesome.
the unexpected book that helped me with that was called The Gift of Fear. It is
Fear.
actually, yeah, it's actually the book that tells you to listen to your inner voice when you are in a dangerous situation, because your brain is processing more information than what you actually get, and they are seeing some things that you are actually not seeing. And then there is this chapter, because the book is written for the US market, and in the US market you can actually get guns really easily.
Yes.
Well, the book is written for when you need to fire somebody who you think might retaliate by actually, and that's an actual problem there, might actually buy a gun and start shooting in the office. And that is a huge problem. And then they have like nine small steps that you should take in order to fire somebody with compassion and how to do it properly. And I have not yet found any HR person being able to tell me that specific way. And I found it just by accident because I love reading like all sorts of books. And for that chapter, it was really, really beneficial for me. And like three main things that I would take from that chapter is that like don't focus on the past and what they did wrong, focus on the future. You know, like
Mm,
spent X amount of time in this company. It is something that is going to benefit your future, and I'm very much excited about what happens next. Everybody has been on the one part of the firing part. It's a normal part of the career. It might seem like the end of the world. It's actually not. It's a motivator for a lot of people. And then when you frame the things like properly with this, without actually like there are nine steps, it actually makes for like a more humane conversation. And I've actually had like people react really, really well of this.
wow.
basically point out to me that this is the first time that they've felt like a human being like after this, because it's like a breakup, and the compassion is like really important, and the following of the steps is actually really important. And it was by accident that I found this, and I implemented this for my use case, because the book is all about how women should, like how women should like listen to their inner voices when things are, when or any people should listen to their inner voices that tell them things. And this is actually one of the chapters that I like to mention all over the time. And I've shared this with everybody in my team. And
Wow.
no HR person has actually taught me to do this better than this book.
Wow. Wow. We'll definitely have a look at this one. And I'll do one thing. I will tell my team to actually, even myself, maybe read the book and that chapter, and then maybe give you actionable points for your SOPs, because we're going to do it for ourselves. I'll share it with you as well.
Thank you. Thank you. I tend to reread that chapter. I have it in a PDF format. I tend to reread that chapter every time I need to do this, and it's the best way to do it, honestly.
Wow, wow, wow. Amazing, amazing. Definitely. I will do this, because this is very important. We are making processes and everything for everything, but a process to actually depart as well in the company should be needed. And I did not think of this. This is something I'm.
And it's a normal part of somebody's career, like
Yes, yes,
leaving the company and continuing your own
yes,
career.
yes.
It's a normal part of somebody's career. It will come with many reasons for that. So yeah.
Very good, very good. Amazing. Moving on. Okay. If Google called you to run their next core update, what's the first change you'll make?
I I woke up and I chose violence. I would I would remove authority as the ranking factor just to see what will happen.
Chaos. Chaos.
Exactly. It might not be good for Google, but I would have so much fun.
Okay. Okay. Wow. I can imagine the chaos.
Yeah, exactly. But can we really? What if we get better results?
Yes.
Like what if we don't? Like what, like like with today, like everybody's trying to fake authority. Like what if we just remove authority? Like what would happen? I just love testing things.
Oh, maybe we'll get good results. Amazing. Very well. Okay. You're writing a book titled The Shit They Don't Tell You About SEO. What's the first chapter called?
The first chapter would be called Never Stop Learning. And that is one of the most important things that I would have to say to every SEO. Never stop learning, because SEO is always evolving. Search engines are not just the Google search engine. Like people are searching for things everywhere, including social media, including YouTube. There are a bunch of search engines, including platforms like Amazon. And there are SEOs trying to optimize for various types of search. There are Amazon specific SEOs who can optimize for platforms. There are booking specific SEOs who help listings rank better there.
Yes.
So like there are SEOs for every single thing. And I would say to SEO, like our job is the most amazing job in the world. So never stop learning.
Wow. Amazing. Very good. So now I want to ask something which again touches back to your personal life. And this is important because I always want that people should know the personal side of the person, because that is very much important, because you are what you are because of your journey, right? So that is why it is so important. Most people actually don't know that you've been working in the TV station, right? And I think for 2 years you worked in a TV station when we were researching on you. And then you also into stand-up comedy, and I think you also did that in the events. I think there was or maybe in Denmark you've been doing the stand-up comedy, right?
I do it at the moment in Denmark, but I recently became an international stand-up comedian because I did a set in Sweden.
Wow. Wow, great.
fun thing I do on the side. Yeah, wow, your team really does some research.
Yeah, thank you. So, is it your hobby? Is it something which is helping you in work as well, or is it something just completely off the grid?
I like to push myself out of my comfort zone. And
Okay.
comedy is a very vulnerable place to be at, because you are on the stage, and unlike SEO conferences, like, people here are there to hear what you have to say, but they need to have a certain reaction, and that reaction is laughter. And you need to be a really good presenter. You need to have really good jokes in order to make people laugh. And for me, I thought it would be a really fun thing to kind of take on. And then I started, I got into this group, and then we started. Our first showcase was sold out. And then our second showcase was also nearly sold out. And then we decided to go bigger. We doubled it. We rented out a theater in Copenhagen, and we almost sold out that theater as well. And I think it actually brings me a lot of joy to do comedy. I've recently done a roast, and I've won. And I thought it was the most amazing thing, because I'm actually a really kind person, and I don't
Yeah.
really like to roast people, but man, I gave it my all. And I think comedy is just wonderful, and if you can laugh at things, it just makes life a little bit more bearable.
Yes. Wow. Very well said.
Yeah.
Okay. How has your creative background shaped your career, like maybe your professional identity, especially when leading teams and speaking at conferences? How does like you said in the past, in initially in the podcast, that you do not have a fear of camera. You are very much open to the camera, and that is why you've been into a lot of different things and even stand up. So how does that actually helps in conferences, in meetings, in conferences, or maybe in client meetings? Or maybe talking to the teams. How does that help?
I think it helps a lot, because speaking with people who do not speak at conferences, their biggest fear is actually the stage fear. They are willing to, they can memorize their entire lecture by heart and just like practice delivering it, etc., and still feel nervous on the stage.
Yes.
Meanwhile, there are a lot of things that you could do, like improv theater, that could help you loosen up a little bit and just be on the stage there. And I think it's for me, I also think like every SEO has a creative side. Like I've pointed this out. Like, I've known a lot of SEOs. Like, for example, Lily Ray. I've just recently learned that she had a band. Like, I know SEOs who are into hip hop. I personally prefer theater and writing and like stand-up comedy. I know SEOs who sing. I know SEOs who play guitar. And I think like a bunch of SEOs, they really need a creative outlet for all their stuff. And the SEOs are really a creative bunch. And you can find a lot of people who are who are comfortable on stage just because of their creative hobby.
Yeah.
So, but also, like, there are also SEOs who come from different backgrounds, like dev, etc., who are not very much comfortable on stage. As I said, my advice would be improv theater. It will make you much more comfortable on stage. But on the other hand, it's also it's like, it's one thing that my dad taught me when I was 13.
Mhm.
He said something to me that like stayed with me. He said, like, Maya, nobody's looking at you. And what he meant by this was that you think that people are looking at you and analyzing much, much more than when they actually are, because people are primarily interested in how world sees them. And when they think about you or when they pass you, etc., it's just a passing comment and they're just going to walk by. And you think that people care more about how you appear and how you look, etc., than what you do. And I think that is a very liberating thing to understand,
Hmm.
because you're probably like tying your own hands by not sharing your knowledge at a stage at some point, thinking, oh my god, what will people think? And to know that they probably won't think anything. They're probably, some of them might be texting their friends, some of them
Right.
might even be listening. Maybe there will be 5 to 10 people, 15, 20, who knows, like they might be listening, and they won't care that you're a little bit nervous, etc. Like it might be
Yes.
endearing. So I would say to all the people who have this like internal fear of stage and of performing, to just give it a shot, because it's really not that important, and
Mm.
you really are probably overzealous about it, and you're more afraid than you need to be.
Correct. Very well said. Very well said. I think that was a very good takeaway, and I'll end the podcast with this last closing thoughts
Okay.
from you as well. Um, for the people actually listening about you and your real life, and we've discussed a lot on you. So, what's your no BS advice for operating in high pressure niches and still being in the game for the long run?
Give it all you have. It really, in high pressure niches, you can't really do things 50%, 60%, like you really need to be there as well. But in the meantime, try not to burn yourself, and try not to step into a burnout, because that is not good for anybody. If you are going into a burnout, you are not managing your time and yourself properly. And for that, you need to figure out how to manage yourself and your tasks. You need to give it all you have, but you must not go into a burnout. If you go into a burnout, then you will probably make decisions that are not healthy for you and for your values as well. So I would say just manage yourself properly and give it everything that you've got, because people who have hired you, your projects, they deserve you at your best.
Amazing. Very well said. Okay. So now tell us where people can connect with you. What was the best way to reach out to you?
Okay, so for SEO advice, LinkedIn is probably the best place, because that is where I share most of the SEO advice, because most of my SEO audience is obviously at LinkedIn. I will also share the conferences that I'm speaking at, and obviously the podcasts where I'm guest at. So that is also it. I don't have a YouTube channel, and my other socials are mostly private, so there's not a lot of things going on there that could be beneficial for the wider audience. LinkedIn is definitely the best.
Perfect. So we'll share the LinkedIn URL in the description as well so that people can add you. And
Perfect.
I think that
Yes.
would be great.
Okay.
Thank you. See you.
All right.
Bye.
Bye, Gundeep.
Thank you for sticking till the end of the conversation with us. We hope you found as much value as we did while creating it. If you enjoyed the podcast and want us to bring more such influential guests, then please don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. Honestly, each like and subscribe help us keep going. It keeps us motivated to make such content which is filled with insights and strategies for you. If you enjoyed the podcast and want us to bring more such influential guests, then don't forget to like and subscribe. Honestly, each like or a subscribe help us keep going and make such content which is filled with insights and valuable knowledge for you. We'd love to hear from you in the comments. Anything you would like to tell us about the podcast? Whom do you want to see in the next podcast? And what kind of questions do you want to ask? And hey, just don't keep the conversation with yourself. Share this podcast with at least one person, can be a friend, colleague, or a family member, or anyone you think can benefit from learning something valuable or getting a fresh perspective. After all, one conversation, one perspective can truly change someone's life. And thank you for tuning in. We'll see you in the next episode of the Business Playbook by Gundeep.